So you and I are at a broker on my balance. You now see a little more than 30 titters, and it is from this amount that we will begin to disperse our deposit today, opening transactions on a minute time frame. All currency pairs have already been selected. The analysis has been carried out. The optimal percentages on the currency pairs for payments have also been selected, and the optimal movement on all charts has also been selected. Today, we have a universal strategy using a trend indicator and an oscillator. We will have a moving average on the trend indicator. This moving average will have a period of 10, and it is a weighted moving average. The second trend indicator is a fractal, updating local points of highs and lows, and a CCI oscillator with a period of 15 to determine the oversold area. And overbought is a very simple and interesting strategy. I suggest you start, and in the course of my trading, you will understand how to work with these indicators correctly. Let's get started and select the first currency pair. Here we open a downside deal, a good entry into the deal. We open in the direction of the actual trend, select the working area, look at the main dynamics. We have updated the local maximum point. We understand that the dynamics is downward. In this area, we saw the intersection of our moving average from top to bottom. This is our downside signal when opening a trade in the direction of the trend. And we also see the downward dynamics of our oscillator. So in this case, it is better to open a trade down here. There is a little more than 10 seconds left. Let's watch the result. And the first deal is easily closed in A+. We will change the amount of the value. We will also set the maximum. Now we have considered the entry into the deal to decrease in the direction of the trend. That is, with downward dynamics, we will definitely consider other entries into the deal. So watch the video to the end. And by the end of the video, you will be able to do the same actually. But you and I will continue and select the next currency pair. Here we will also open a downward trade. We reopen in the direction of the actual trend, consolidate the result of the previous trade, highlight the workspace, highlight the downward trend in the current reality, note the price pullback, update the local maximum point along the fractal, then open in the direction of the trend. Here we saw the intersection again. We had a moving average, therefore the deal opens down according to CCI. We are still seeing a downward trend. Let's look at the result of this deal. There is a little more than 15 seconds left. And our second deal is also closing in a plus. We opened two deals on the same principle and recorded a good profit. We will change the amount of the transaction values, continue our trading, and select the next currency. And here we will open for an increase in the direction of the actual trend now. We will highlight the workspace. We are opening now for an increase after updating the local, or rather global, price minimum. Our dynamics actually became upward, then the price rolled back, and we had an update of the local minimum in the fractal. Then we open in the direction of the actual trend. Here we observe the intersection of the moving average from bottom to top. So when this happens, we need to open a deal to increase. Let's watch the end of the deal. And the next deal is again easily closed in A+. We have considered the entry of the deal for an increase. We will try to consolidate this result, open, because the principle is, of course, and let's continue and select the next entry into the deal. Here we open an upward trade, a relatively good entry point. We are guided by two signals here. This is the bottom-up intersection of our moving average, and I want to see the intersection of the overbought area on our oscillator. Since the oversold area has crossed, the moving average should tend to go into the overbought area, which is why it is better to open a deal here to increase rather than decrease. Let's look at its result. And our next trade also closes in a plus without any problems. Everything happened, as I said, a rollback. We opened here against the trend, a candle rollback, a rollback occurred, the deal closed in a plus. Everything is great. Everything is great. I like everything. Let's continue our trading. We will consolidate our result and select the next one, a currency pair. And here we will already open a downtrend. In the direction of the trend, we pay special attention to the oscillator. We see how its moving average has crossed the overbought area respectively. We will wait for the oversold area to cross at this point after the price rollback. The local maximum on the fractal has been updated respectively. We open a downtrend and we also see an intersection. Based on our moving average, the deal opens lower. So let's look at the result. And the deal also closes in our favor. As you can see, traders, we open transactions according to the same principle, and they easily close in our favor. It is enough to expect the crossing of the moving average. And in general, it is to carefully pay attention to the oscillator. Let's continue trading and select the next currency. Here, look, I want to open down. I turn my attention here to the trend and pay attention to the formation of a new local maximum. In fact, the trend has a downward trend from this point. We saw a price pullback, an update of the local maximum on the fractal. The deal opens ahead of the curve. If you look at the moving average, and we can expect a breakout of our moving average at this level, also according to the dynamics. I want to see the intersection of the overbought area. Let's look at the result. We have around 15 seconds left. And our next deal is also closing in A+. We will change the amount of the value. We will open 2 deals at 653 for each. As you can see, everything happened as I said. Having mastered this strategy, you will be able to do exactly the same. Well, we will continue trading and select the next currency pair. Look, it's a very interesting entry into the deal. Unlike the others, here we add technical analysis to our deal, highlight the working area. We understand that the resistance area has broken through, the formation of a new local maximum. Then the dynamics should go into correction. Here we saw a slight intersection of the moving average from top to bottom. Then the dynamics went up again. We can also see this from our oscillator. But this highlights our downward signal, and I think there should be a price pullback. Let's watch the result. At the end of the deal, I think this will happen, and our deals will close in a plus. One trade was closed at 0. We missed the opening time a little, but the second trade was closed at a plus. Let's not take any more risks. We will still open according to the trend and select the next currency pair and open 2 transactions in the amount of 914. Let's get started. Here we will open 2 trades to increase. We open here against the trend and we have an understanding that we have a very strong pullback to happen further. So the pullback was quite strong, but the pullback should go even higher. Here we open according to the principle of our strategy against the trend. We see updates of the local minimum. Further, our price goes into a rollback. In this area of intersection, we have a bottom-up exit from the area before the sell, in accordance with which we open a deal to increase. And our trades are easily closed at a plus. As I said, the pullback should have a stronger character. This candle has successfully shown it to us, and our trades are fixed at a plus. To consolidate the result, we will open the final trades in the amount of $3,000. Proceed to the analysis and select the next currency pair. Here we will open 3 short trades. We will open in a pullback of the price, touching the resistance areas happening here. We have a good opening point. We have an update of the price maximum, and I want to see a pullback. We opened a similar deal. One deal went to zero, but here the movement is more obvious and the signal is more obvious. Despite the fact that we should have a pullback, we see our oscillator is in the overbought area. Accordingly, we will also wait for an exit from it. In fact, it has already occurred, but the moving average crosses it. There is a little more than 10 seconds left. And our final trades are closing in a plus. With this result, I will end my trading. Let's move on to the conclusion. We select a wallet. The amount will be $5,900. Our operation is being successfully performed. Such an interesting trade turned out today. Thank you all for watching. Do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, put likes, write comments under this video. What do you think about this strategy? And also, don't forget to subscribe to my Telegram channel with free signals. Thank you all for watching. Good luck in trading. Bye-bye.